Hello and welcome to another episode of Kill James Bond. I am November Kelly. I am joined, as always, by my friends Abigail Thorne and Devon.
I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
I'm not. How are we doing, everyone? What's up?
And you join us. You join us in the midst of a conversation in which I staked out the position that my mental health has gotten significantly better, the worse my own kind of like internal self-talk has been. And so when I'm really, really depressed, I think, oh God, I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this, what I'm gonna do. I just have so many things to do. When my mental health is a bit more functional, I tend to think to myself, oh, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. And then I do the task, right? So on that basis, we're now perfectly equipped to tell you what happens in Ocean's 13.
Yeah, I woke up this morning, I looked at my schedule, it said, remember everything that happens in Ocean's 13, 10 a.m. And I went, uh-oh.
Yeah, God. More things happen in this one than did in the previous one.
Yeah, that's true.
Lots of things. Yeah.
This one's also clearer. It basically tells you what the scam is going to be at the start, which I quite like.
I kind of feel like this one has, if anything, too many things, right? But so if you're not familiar with the series, right? This is George Clooney, Brad Pitt, and their friends getting together to make first a remake of a Rat Pack movie in the 60s, which was an excuse for Sinatra to hang out, and then doing two sequels to that, of which this is the second. And this is by some way the movie that like assumes the most goodwill of its audience. This is a movie that's convinced that because you have spent 4 hours with Danny Ocean and Rusty Ryan, you are like their best friend for real. You're like pointing at the screen. You love all the little like references. You're just very, very happy to be there for Ocean's 13. If you're not, if you're just like, if you're there as a hired gun, if you're there to do this for work for your podcast,
if you're kind of done with these guys.
Yeah. I enjoyed this one the most, though, because the problem that we had with the second one is that the heist, which the film is ostensibly about, happens off screen and then it doesn't tell you anything about it and there's no way you can figure it out. Whereas with this one, it does the opposite. It tells you like pretty much in Act 1, here is what the heist is going to be, and then they do it.
Yeah, I mean, you get kind of like a bunch of nested heists as well, which is nice as a kind of like, you know, compensation for the no heists in the second one. But yeah,
it's like one big plan and it has some problems midway through it, but they fix it. You know, I don't mind this one so much. This was a little bit, the plot was easier to follow, certainly. It's better than 2. I will say that hands down.
You know, I call a film indulgent a lot, you know, and this is hypocrisy, and I'm going to illustrate that by way of an analogy. This movie feels like listening to a podcast from like the 500th episode where they've all got all of their own bits bedded in and you have to go and unpick them.
Yeah, George Clooney just opens with, I'm going to fucking kill myself. And then it was like, what?
And I was like, oh no, George.
Every time Matt Damon is on screen, they do a bit about him being raised by fishermen. It doesn't really connect to anything. And you're just like,
they're really trying to make it work.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just desperate for that bit to land. The problem that I had is that I finished watching this and due to a noticeable lack of Catherine Zeta-Jones in this movie, no Julia Rogers either. She's out of here.
Julia Rogers? Julia Rogers looks almost exactly like Julia Roberts.
Rogers in this shit either.
So that's true.
Yeah.
And the mistake that I made is I finished this up by immediately going on one of my multi-day Catherine Zeta-Jones binges. And I now remember the plot of entrapment and intolerable cruelty.
That's how Michael Douglas got cancer.
Perfectly.
It's difficult when this happens. It's a real like kind of like not just staffing issue, but like you as a friend, we find you like face down in the gutter, surrounded by Blu-rays.
It's just like, oh, for God's sake, they've been on the Zeta-Jones again. We talked about this.
Yeah, there's no Julia Roberts, there's no Julia Rogers, there's no Julias of any description, basically, because this movie is
that's pretty much
like
the first thing that happens is Brad Pitt and George Clooney meet, and George Clooney says Julia Roberts and Catherine Zeta-Jones will not be appearing in this movie. And they go, great, okay, fine.
I thought that was a bit that they were going to do and they were coming back later, but no, they mean it.
They fully, they do the like pleased with themselves retro studio logos and titles. And then we go, right, no women in this one. This is boys' night, you know? This is
absolutely.
This is like guys in Vegas having like homosocial fun before The Hangover.
Yeah, heists are about women again.
And
actually, no, the heists are about the boys.
That's true. That is this one is for the boys. So Danny Ocean, George Clooney, is being pulled out of retirement along with Brad Pitt, Rusty Ryan, Matt Damon, Linus Tech Tips, or whatever the fuck.
Whatever he's called.
And they get to Vegas on an emergency basis because something has happened to Earth's oldest cunt.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, in the course of this, as they get off the plane, we get a perfect mob guy whoa off of Damon.
Whoa!
Just like luxuriate in that a little bit.
Whoa!
I got a lot of drops on this one. I'm finally figuring this shit out.
Any.
No, I have, let me see, 12 drops from this movie, one of which is whoa.
Whoa.
If you remember from the previous two movies, Ruben, Elliot Gould, guy we love to see, cigar chewing, like big glasses, kind of Robert Evans, the like Hollywood producer. He's the guy who like bankrolls their heists initially. He's their like casino industry insider.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's fucking dead now because he tried to get into business with Al Pacino.
Yes.
Al Pacino
kind of looking a bit Donald Trumpish.
Yeah, he does do a Trump in this. Like, he fully does.
He's like the fake tan and the hair.
This is a rare, like, intermediate form of Al Pacino. Pacino scholars, such as myself, recognize several distinct eras of Pacino. And this is halfway between his, like, scent of a woman, whatever kind of era, and his, like, old man Pacino stuff. He's nearly there.
He's cooking. He's percolating. There is still representation discourse that you can do here in that, like, Al Pacino is an alarmingly orangely tanned man from the South Bronx, whereas he's playing functionally Donald Trump, who is an alarmingly orange tanned man from like Queens or Manhattan, depending on how you look at it. And I don't know if that's like appropriation or not. Like, I don't know if Donald Trump's costume is a costume, but he has tried to go into business with Al Pacino, who is what's his
Willie Bank.
Willie Bank. Who's like another casino owner. And
they're going to open this big new casino together. They're going to go 50-50, but Al Pacino, he's Zuckerberged him out of it.
Yeah, he Winklevosses him because he meets him in the casino under construction and he's like, points at him and is like, you're Winklevossed. Like,
you have been Winklevossed. Please sign over all of your assets to me.
Yeah. You can say slurs in the casino now.
It's clear that Ruben is like has been like putting in the work. He like comes to this meeting with like his two big achievements that he's done. He's really excited, and then Pacino's just like, no, you're out. And he has an unnamed goon who remains unnamed throughout, just kind of vaguely menace Ruben.
Yeah, it's a vague threat. He's like, what, if I don't say yes, you're going to throw me off the roof? And he goes, well, I don't want to. And then that's about as sinister as this movie gets. The stakes are not really life and death.
It's interesting as well because Pacino, he kind of like he cuts him out of the casino, and Ruben says, you don't do that because like old Vegas, right? There's a code where both guys who shook Sinatra's hand, right?
And that means something,
It used to mean something in this town.
What exactly does that
mean? We didn't get to talk about this very much on Ocean's 11, spelled out 11, but like Frank Sinatra was like a depraved thug and rapist who was like,
oh, certainly.
beloved of guys who like to weep into their drinks because they had never heard like two notes of music in the same song before. And it's just this cult around him is very, very strange, but it's even stranger to make a movie like that really makes it into a real thing that reifies it in the year this came out,
2007,
and also suggests that it should be the basis of business contracts because Ruben's like, we both shook Sinatra's hand. There's a code amongst guys who shook Sinatra's hand. I'm not going to say what that code is.
It's kind of religious, like mythological Sinatra here. It's like, and in Sinatra's name, Sinatra's like, old blue eyes be upon you.
I'm fascinated by the historicity of Frank Sinatra. Like we could prove that he exists.
Well, he was a minor lounge singer. We can say that much in a remote province of the American Empire.
There were several lounge singers at the time, but he was just happened to become become quite popular.
He hung out with a number of apostles. It's difficult to say what remains of his teachings besides like ring a ding ding.
I'm using the rubric of embarrassment to like prove that Ocean's 11 spelled out actually happened. Like they wouldn't make that kind of thing up. He got embarrassed. But they try to insist that this is some sort of like casino owner Bushido code where like if you've met Frank Sinatra, you can't fuck each other over because you're like an old head. And Al Pacino goes, no, I don't give a fuck about that.
And he's right. He's completely right. Like it's so strange to insist upon this just because Sinatra made the movie that you're now riffing off of, you know?
But he finished it off by bank renames the casino to the bank or whatever. Yeah. And that is finally enough, and that makes Ruben have his heart attack.
Yeah, his heart explodes.
So he's not actually dead. We said he's dead, but he's not dead. He's a broken heart.
My casino.
If you want a sense of how perfunctorily this is done, he's in bed. The whole gang are like at his bedside, and we get rhetorical questions, Doctor, to speed us through the scene even quicker. Who's just like, will he get better? I don't know, maybe. What will make him get better? Family, probably.
Summon.
If you guys are like a found family,
he has a broken heart. How could you heal his broken heart? With crime? Yes.
Yeah.
Certainly crime.
I like that they immediately go, well, we're going to murder Al Pacino, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to fucking pop this guy.
One of the two Mormon brothers, fucking like Tracklin or whatever, says, I'm going to get close to bank and I don't care if it gets messy. Which
hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother. I you know.
me when I'm on my like money mindset, I'm gonna get close to bank and I don't care if it gets messy. So yeah, they're just gonna kill him. They're just gonna kill him. And instead
so we're gonna call Luigi, we're gonna wait for him outside, and it's 3 shots with a 3D printed gun, and that's how we're gonna do it.
I should say in this scene, because Don Cheadle is present, he is wearing the weirdest leather jacket I've ever seen. I just want to pull this out here. He's got like two pockets over the kind of like breasts, right? Not that unusual in a leather jacket. However, they're like circular, cross-belted with an O-ring in the middle. It looks like if you put this in like a black jacket instead of brown, it looks like it belongs in cruising. It's one of the strangest. It looks like he's got like tearaway tip panels on this jacket, and it completely like took me out of the rest of the scene. The rest of the scene is Danny Ocean being like, "We're not going to kill him because that's not the genre of movie we're making. We're going to give him like a second chance."
Yeah, we're gonna offer to heist something for him in exchange for giving Ruben his share back. So Clooney goes to Al Pacino and he makes this offer to him. It's all in crime gibberish language, and I like that Al Pacino was just like, "No, there's nothing you can offer me. I already have all the money in the world. Fuck you."
Yeah.
Which I really like.
Sick.
He does kind of lay out all of the stuff that he has that you could heist at this moment, which I think is
this was a bad call.
Hubristic. He's like, I have everything I could possibly want. I have this massive casino that's going to open and make a bunch of money, and it's going to get the 5 Diamonds award for like best hotel casino, like I've done 4 or 5 other times before. And they give me a diamond necklace each time, and they're all up here in this vault. It's like, okay, man, sure.
He also says, don't fuck with me. I slice like a goddamn hammer. And I'm like, what?
I kind of like this.
Al Pacino,
it's just like,
baby.
Just like
what are you doing
like,
with a slice with a hammer?
Trying to hold my shit together and be like intimidating, and I say something like that, and I just kind of go, okay, cool, good meeting, and I go into my phone, into the calendar, I put fucking kill myself. Just cancel the rest of my appointments, you know.
Slice like a goddamn hammer.
Slice like a goddamn. And this is the thing. I like my little headcanon here of this is just like an authentically fucked up thing you would say by accident. He's thinking about it for the whole rest of the movie.
Definitely.
He's just like going over it in his head, like, why did I tell that guy I sliced like a hammer? What's wrong with me?
Just waking up like 2 nights later, just being like, what the fuck did I say slice like a hammer?
6 years later, Al Pacino sits bolt upright
just
in
like,
bed.
oh fuck.
It's like they all run together in one kind of compilation. It's like the time he called the teacher mum, the time he told Danny Ocean he sliced like a hammer. like a time he fell over one time.
I still remember the time I accidentally called the teacher mum.
I mean, yeah, I mean, if it sticks with you.
Yeah, I did it year 1 and it's still there.
Yeah,
Mrs. Scarrett, you aren't my mum. I know that now. Sorry.
It doesn't leave you. It doesn't leave you. It sticks around. It's in the compilation reel. It's terrible. So basically, what we then get is a cut that says 6 months later. And if you think
I'm reading the plot right now and I'm still lost.
if you think about this as a sequence of events, right? Al Pacino has fucking heart attack gunned their boy. They have come to him and explicitly, like, kind of quasi threatened him, kind of made him an offer he can't refuse. He has refused it, and then nothing has happened for 6 months. If you're Al Pacino, bar the slice like a hammer thing, you're feeling pretty good about this.
Yeah, you're not even remembering this meeting.
The casino is almost done, and the opening is coming up. So they're planning this revenge heist, and so Susie Izzard has to come to Vegas so that they can explain to her what the heist is going to be and ask for her help.
Yeah.
And her outfit in this is Susie Izzard when she's still in the closet. Her outfit in this is an all black shirt, an all black tie, and then a black pinstripe suit. And there is a photo of me at the age of 18 wearing this outfit because I saw it in this movie.
It's once again, it's the people's Joker, me, a faggot joke again.
I saw it in this movie. And it was like, damn, Susie Izzard was like really, really cool in this. She even has the goatee, and I'm just like, oh my god, it's so.
If you ever tried to wear like a dark suit, black shirt, colorful tie, you are transgender now. I hope you know. If you don't, then you have to transition.
I just remember having such clear memories of just like, wow, like that person's really cool. I want to be like that person. Like if I have to be this way, then I want to be a man, like in the way that it's just like,
it's just like, wow,
no.
Huge misfire on
Anyway,
if you're listening to this and you've ever worn a suit like that, David.
So what we get is like setup montage, right, where we go through all the shit in the casino. There is one shot of Pacino talking to a significantly taller, it's Pacino, not hard, but a significantly taller blonde woman. And when I watched this is just perfect, like, physical comedy. I actually fumbled my whole notebook. So if you got a sense of kind of where I'm at, I like just dropped all my notes.
But speaking of blonde women, Al Pacino has a right-hand woman.
Yes.
And it is Cameron Diaz.
Is it? No, it isn't.
Is it?
No, it's not.
I'm pretty sure it is.
It's Ellen Barkin. This shit got me Ellen Barkin. It's not.
What?
She got me.
Wait, no, it's not. That's
Cameron Diaz?
You're talking about Abigail, right? Like the MILF.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely not Cameron Diaz.
No, that's not Cameron Diaz.
Yeah, no, I have to look this up.
Face blindness. She doesn't look anything like her.
Are you shitting me?
We did 3 Charlie's Angels movies.
That's just not her.
That is. She has the same.
It's the same face. No, I'm with you.
That's just old Cameron Diaz. You're shitting me. I don't believe these women are. What?
These white women don't look the same to me.
Are you doing a kind of like gang stalking beef against Ellen Barkin to be like you and Cameron Diaz are the same one?
I am looking at her now and I'm like, this is just Cameron Diaz.
A picture of Ellen Barkin up and I'm like, I don't think so.
I'm looking at like 20 pictures of her and like, this is. What?
This is the shit that was happening in the Prestige.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry to Ellen Barkin if you're listening. Excuse me, I'm crossing out Cameron Diaz. I'm running this as Ellen Barkin.
Ellen Barkin is introduced. She's the like the right hand woman, and she's seen bullying like a waitress about her weight. Right, she's doing toxic femininity, and the boys are kind of like we've gotten slightly woker than we did in Ocean's 12, where it's just Matt Damon. Matt Damon's been sending them out some literature, and they've been reading it because they're like, this is terrible. This is
highly illegal.
And it turns out that
highly
illegal. The loophole that allows them to like police their waitress's appearance like this is that they aren't waitresses. They are, and I mostly just get this for the drop.
Models who serve.
Just useful to have
models who serve.
All models serve.
they also serve who only stand and walk. So what else we got here?
Yeah, this is for being £4 too fat or whatever. Okay, yeah. So the stakes of this is they're going to prevent the bank casino from winning that Diamonds Award. And they're going to rig all of the casino's games to pay out massive on opening night.
He's going to lose.
Like ruin him or whatever.
But they're not going to like benefit in any way. It's just to fuck with him.
It's cui bono. Everybody.
Which I quite
okay?
like. Because Bank took out some big loans to finance his casino, so he needs to make 500 million in his first quarter to make it back, or he's going to lose the business. So they're like, we need to make him lose $500 million on opening night by rigging all of the games in the casino so everybody wins.
Yeah,
kind of compelling.
Which is a fun,
it's a cute idea.
And Susie, as it goes through all the aspects of their plan with them, she's a kind of like heist consultant in this bit.
Yes,
where she's like, okay, well, give me another montage, right, of all the shit you've been fucking with. So the way they've rigged the craps games in particular is notable because one of the two Mormon brothers. Is undercover.
The twink Mormon and the hunk Mormon.
The twink Mormon who looks a bit like Brandon Flowers, like a young Brandon Flowers, is I mean, maybe just all young Mormons look like that. I don't know. But like he's undercover in the factory in Mexico that makes the dice that are then shipped under like guard all the way to the casino where they're then tested and put into use and stuff. In order to like lean into this disguise, he does have a kind of like very wide handlebar mustache.
Yeah, he's got this Zapatista mustache.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's maybe like offensive since he's playing Mexican, but
yes.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of this, I have to say. But
I have strongly mixed feelings about this whole subplot, let me say. I think it's the most interesting thing about the movie, for better and worse.
I think it is too, yeah. But they've put special chemicals in the dice as they're being made so they can like cause the dice to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Livingston, the electrician, is like messing with the blackjack shuffling machines.
Yeah, they get him hired by cheating a polygraph, which polygraphs are bullshit. They also then kind of double down on this because they're like, okay, well, we've also found a second nerd. We've found a second like egg.
Yeah, this kid's only in one scene. Who's this kid?
Eugene, the like egg-looking computer science student who they get to program some of the stuff. I don't know why this kid. Maybe he won a contest or something. But like,
yeah, is this like a producer's kid or something?
It's like the Frank Sinatra code. You know, if you're planning a heist, you got to have like some people whose first heist it is so that they can upskill a little. It's a really nice way the industry works.
Also, this movie, much like our podcast, is about having an excuse to dress up with your friends and like hang out in outfits.
That is true, yeah.
So they do kind of a rerun of the montage from the first movie where it's like the 3 most successful casino robberies where they try their roulette scam. And their guy gets like bodied instantly by security. And like Clooney and Pitt are watching him. And George Clooney is wearing like a turtleneck, a big gold medallion, and a sort of like handlebar mustache.
He is, yeah.
And the joke here is like, oh, that guy's not very subtle, is he? I mean, first of all, thank you, George, for the episode art. But second of all, combined with the fact that he went undercover as Miguel Diaz in the last movie, I'm like, there's a lot of these guys that want very badly to be Hispanic, which is kind of funny. This is like the kind of like thing that they're all doing in retirement, you know?
I think it's nice when white boys get into pretending to be a different race. It happens over here, but only with like the East. I don't think it's nice per se, by the way. I think it's noteworthy.
Sure, yeah.
Anyway, they've rigged all of the games in the casino, but the problem is the casino has this really advanced
it does.
AI system.
Yes, yeah, it does.
Yes, it does.
I have the drop.
It's an artificial intelligence security system.
It doesn't work. It's like just
at
fully
all.
hallucinates 1 in 3 things it does.
It's making up games that don't even fucking exist.
Yeah,
it's like you're getting kicked out for cheating at Balatro.
Yeah,
but yeah, so Basically, what Susie as character says is like, you guys are like, you're too old school. You're like analog players in a digital world. You're washed, right? Because they have this AI security system that like the Greco, it's called, that tracks everybody's like movement and emotions with pinpoint precision.
It's like the biometrics and shit like that.
Can't detect George Clooney wearing the handlebar mustache, but that doesn't matter. And by the way,
it can tell if a win is legitimate, because if you rig the game, if you're cheating, then it can tell that you're lying. It's like a lie detector machine, and so it knows if you've rigged the game, right? So if everybody in the casino suddenly wins, then they're going to know that something's up. And the Greco can't be shut off because it's in an impregnable room that locks down. If there's a problem, then it locks down. The entire
it locks
room.
itself down.
And then it reboots, and the reboot cycle is 3.5 minutes. And they're like, well, okay, I guess that's our window, right? We have to find a way to shut the computer off.
Susie as his character knows the guy who like develops it and is maintaining it, this Greco guy, which gets a look off of Brad Pitt and gives me this drop.
Yeah, you've obviously never served time in a British boarding school.
Which many such cases.
Because the joke is, because that character's called Roman, as long as Greco-Roman. It's just like,
I love to do a 2-part name bit that just never comes up for like 20 years, you know? You guys are going to love it when you meet December.
Yeah, when the punchline to the November thing hits, it's gonna be so good.
There's a bit here. It's just like, you know, just wait for it, you know?
Your daughter's going to be called December.
And
then your second daughter, January.
My granddaughter, January Jones,
Oh, that's fun. So the idea is that we're going to fake a natural disaster by wiggling the building with a big wiggler.
Yes.
We're going to get a big drill that simulates an earthquake, which is going to cause the Greco to shut down, and then that's also our plan to get out. Because the other problem is, like, if everybody wins at the casino games, they also have to then leave the building with the money. And so the plan is, okay, we put the building on the wiggler, which shuts the computer down. We have 3.5 minutes to make everybody win every game in the casino, and then we hit them with the wiggler again, and that causes them to evacuate.
And then have to evacuate. Yeah, perfect.
So at this point, Don Cheadle has to be in the tunnel boring machine.
Yeah, they send him to the tunnel machine jail for the whole rest of the movie.
It is more or less explicit that he is gooning in there, which...
He asks Matt Damon to buy him porn mags, and Matt Damon won't do it.
Yeah, he won't do it. He's too woke.
He's too woke.
He's like, I don't know. I think this is just like objectifying, you know, and this is like 2010s porn mags as well. So like sort of at the end of the like lads mag era.
Yeah, really bad.
There's a scene where Linus is in London very briefly. I don't quite recall what he's there to do, but it has this blue filter over it that's like to the degree of the yellow filter for Mexico in Spectre. It's so funny to see us getting hit by that.
Do you know why he has a scene in London? Not like why in the movie,
I don't
but
even
like
remember
why
because he was in London for Jason Bourne's material.
Yes, and they didn't manage to get him off the set of the Jason Bourne where that Guardian journalist gets killed. So he's just he's taking a break from the bin man takes to do like
that's so funny.
A bit like into a phone where he's like, I'm in like Cody Banks drop London.
That's why I found this out after the episode. That's why Bernie Mac wasn't really in the last one, is because he was filming the Bernie Mac show the whole time.
I'm kind of insulted.
What's his excuse for not being in this one?
Yeah,
he probably was still filming the Bernie Mac show. I don't know how long that went.
I feel kind of insulted that this movie is like so obviously extracurricular for these guys.
Yeah, right. Like this isn't even the main thing you've got on.
Yeah, like this is the kind of filler in your schedule, and I paid full price to see this. Like,
and it was the second one was one of the most profitable movies of the year it came out too.
Yeah, it's like the 10th best selling movie of 2001, and you just like don't give a shit. I will say that does make it much more obvious the ones for whom this is like the main thing that they have going on.
Soul,
like Soul, Soul. The Mormon brothers are really bringing it.
Oh yeah,
I gotta say, it's gotta be great to be those guys. Like every time George Clooney wants a multi-million-dollar check in the mid-2000s, you get one too. Just like you've been grandfathered in.
You probably don't get paid the same amount.
I imagine you probably get paid for being in the movie.
You get paid something, and you're like SAG-AFTRA. I'm like grabbing a hammer and nails, and I'm going into George Clooney's coattails at that point. Like
fully.
I've got like climbing spikes in the back of his thighs. I'm like just on there, you know?
Yeah,
Take me-
you're just
take me
like,
with you.
I want the lake Como house, George. Just give me the. I want to live on Lake
I'll
Como.
take a smaller lake, George.
Those two Mormon guys, probably not even Mormon in real life, are like parasiting George Clooney's house on Lake Como right now. He's out in Paris filming Nespresso commercials, and they're ordering like fried chicken and wings.
He's
to
gonna
them.
need someone to house it.
Casey Affleck
You know?
and Scott Kahn are in your basement right now, George Clooney.
I'm doing the like parasite like air quotes thing. Casey Affleck, Boston, right? But so only child.
The other aspect of the plan is that they want the hotel to get a bad review, so they identify
Yes, yeah.
who the reviewer is going to be. They sabotage basically pretty much everything this poor fucking
This is
guy
great,
does, and then Saul poses as a reviewer so that Cameron Diaz (brackets Ellen Barkin ? Is gonna give him the VIP treatment.
Saul's
Saul is
character
just-
here, the square brackets British accent is being stretched to its fucking limits across this franchise.
It was bad enough with Don Cheadle, but like, do we have to do this?
We're getting it from both directions on this fucking movie.
Yeah, come on.
And this guy's his like cover name, his fake name is like Kensington Chubb, which is
Yes, I also wrote this down.
walking into the venue. Hello, my name is Safe McCracken.
It's so his whole character in this is just like heavily dropping hints that I'm the hotel reviewer. Like, just walking around.
Yeah.
Wow, if I was to review this hotel, it wouldn't do too good right now. And all the staff are like, "Oh shit, give this guy a room."
He
now."
literally drops a binder that has the logo of the fucking like Michelin, analog on
5 diamond thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
And meanwhile, they've paid one of the concierge off to fuck with this guy. It's really interesting. So we kind of get a hand wave line where they talk about how they bribed one of the concierge to fuck with the real reviewer. And Brad Pitt says, "Oh, she's very ambitious. I offered her like a hotel manager gig in Monaco." And I'm like, how do you're a criminal. How do you?
He's a hotels guy.
saying
He's
shit,
just like
yeah.
become a real like player in the space. Meanwhile, in Mexico, the twink Mormon is getting radicalized.
Yeah, no,
He's radicalizing them.
I love this. He's radicalizing them.
Yeah, he is a union agitator at this point because he observes that the conditions are very, very bad, and all of the actual Mexicans in this workplace are like, yeah, no, it fucking sucks, but like this is like labor conditions in Mexico. And he, as we see as the punchline of this scene, riffing off of a poster for tequila that invokes the name Zapata, is like, you have forgotten Senor General Emiliano Zapata. It's like,
Cool.
Die on your feet rather than live on your knees, right? This is really funny, right? If you imagine, because he is actually radicalizing them. And if you think of this as like, this is the small domino and the big domino is like the Mexican army reconquering California in 2060. This is
2060 is a long time off, pal.
It's
Mid
a lot of
2020 is
dominoes.
easy.
It's a lot of dominoes, you know?
Oh no, I just think that they'll conquer California faster than that.
I mean, inshallah.
That would be just my luck, wouldn't it? To move to LA to like go to Hollywood just in time for it to be fucking invaded.
Start learning
It'd
Spanish.
probably be better.
You know?
It's not like they're going to get anything out of the Republican government.
No.
They'll probably get it out of Claudia Scheinbaum's government.
Actually, yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, long live Commander Scheinbaum.
Viva la revolucion!
I will serve in any land war against the criminal American Empire.
Yeah, just the bit where all of us join the Mexican army. It's just like in the 19th century, we become like
We'll
the San
keep podcasting
Patricios.
from the front.
We just killed James Bond in Espanol.
Just like it's one of those weird points of Mexican military history where some non-Mexicans who are too woke come over and get killed in your favor. It's just there's like a trans battalion that gets wiped out south of Los Angeles.
Hell
Beautiful.
yeah.
Fuck yeah. That's what
I
Escape
wanna
from
go.
LA is about. They were quite cool. So the point of this, by the way, the unionization effort here is like on purpose because since these guys produce the dice, they want to make sure that they're like low on dice reserves so that the ones that they specifically spike are guaranteed to be used on opening night. So they're like disrupting the supply chain. It took me too long to figure out that was what was going on. I was like, what the fuck's going on down there?
Is it? I thought this was an accident.
I thought he just like
I know,
authentically like became into like labor relations. Just was
yeah,
like,
and I thought that was the joke
Me
because
too
they
for the
sent
whole movie. Yeah.
later on they sent his elder brother down because the factory's on strike and they're like, shit, we don't have the special dice that we need. And they sent his elder brother down to sort him out. And then the joke is that they cut to his elder brother's like, have you sorted things out? And he's like, yeah, it's all fine. We just need management to get back to us. And he's like throwing Molotovs at the police.
the line is
cool.
we just need to break management, which is even better. Like,
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, do this.
I kind of like this, especially because in that conversation when they're talking about it, like.
So he says they want their bread and they want the roses too.
Just authentically becoming like too deep cover and becoming like a communist agitator. I mean, this is
I love this.
Historically not a great occupation in Mexico. Like the fucking like Mormon brothers are gonna turn up like, you know, shot in a ditch by the Federalists, but like they're having a great time. Like
they're enjoying it at the very least.
They're like genuinely building solidarity between particularly like Mexican like working class things, because as they're leaving with the dice, one of them is like, you know, like tell my brother to hang tough, and then we see that brother, who is the same actor of course, in like the casino, and it's like, okay, so we're actually like, you know, punching through the floor here. The joke that I had written for this is the best time a Mormon has had in Mexico since Mitt Romney's father. Just Google it and you get around it.
Anyway, the other hitch in the plan is that the big drill they're using to dig the Hyperloop and wiggle the building is broken, and they need to buy another one, which is going to cost $36 million. And they're like, fuck, where are we going to get that?
Yeah. You know who was in the other two movies?
Yeah.
You know who they have beaten and therefore is now their friend by Dragon Ball rules?
Yeah. Like fucking Casino Goku.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we got to make up this 13 somehow, all right?
We're up to like 17 at this point, but whatever.
Who all of these people are.
It's true. Fucking Vincent Cassel has been like following them around the casino this whole time, and you're like, that's the guy from the last movie.
The Night Fox is here.
The Night Fox.
He is here, yeah.
He doesn't even do the Fox thing anymore. It's bullshit.
Yeah, I know. We've got to go to Casino Dracula, Andy Garcia, and ask him for a loan to buy the big wiggler.
Andy Garcia later in this movie will make the funniest noise. So just look forward to that one, you know?
Hell yeah.
And he's like, okay, I hate Al Pacino, so I will lend you the money to buy this drill. But I want you to steal his diamonds, which weren't originally part of the plan because the diamonds are in like a super secure room. Like he has these diamond necklaces that he gets awarded for winning the 5 diamond ones. He's like, I hate him so much. Steal the diamonds. I don't care. You can keep them if you want to, but I just want him to fucking lose everything.
Yeah, and he's having a great time being a kind of like mobbed up piece of shit in this movie. It's kind of, he's really enjoying it, and so am I, to be honest. So the angle here, the scam, the way they're going to do this involves, we recall Yen, the like tiny Chinese acrobat who only gets to speak Mandarin and profanity.
Yes, I mean, half like a couple of my notes here. Just please translate the Mandarin. I'm begging you. But no.
Yes, yeah, he's going to be a whale, like a big time rich gambler, and Matt Damon wearing a large like Cyrano de Bergerac style prosthetic nose is going to be his like translator.
Yeah.
And they're going to reconnoiter.
And that's how they're going to, because you can access the diamond room through the vents from the Super High Rollers villa. And so they meet
right to Cameron Diaz.
What's his name again? Ellen Barkin.
When they meet Cameron Diaz, she immediately calls the cops.
Straight away, and that is smart. Yeah, like instantly hits up the FBI about this.
So they meet her at the airport. And like Matt Damon is posing as his communicator. And then he's like, oh, Mr. Wang owns all the air south of Beijing. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But the room with the diamonds in is so fucking difficult to access. It's like impossible to get into. There's one elevator, but like the only people who have access are Al Pacino and Ellen Barkin. So they have to like bribe or
on me,
threaten.
Alan
Oh
Barkin.
yeah, they threaten a guard. That's it. They say because one
Wait,
of the
wait, you're
the
way out of
guard-
sequence. You're way out of sequence.
Whoa,
right?
shit.
Like, so, but
To
like,
be fair, we've missed a couple of things.
there's like 50 things in this movie. So like, first thing they do is Yen has to do some acrobatics, right? So like,
Oh, yeah.
they kind
Yes.
of like
Well, of
emotionally,
course.
they emotionally blackmail him into climbing up the lift shaft. Mercifully, like elevators, lifts are very easy to CGI because they're just like cubes. So we get some pretty convincing for the time thing of like elevators like shooting past the guy as they do all of the setup for this. We get fucking Brad Pitt goes undercover as a seismologist.
Yes, this is something that we need to get up to because of the tunnel thing. They need to get in there and be like, you need to have an evacuation plan in case of earthquake. Here is a big seismograph for you to keep in your office, and it's just like a huge like camcorder with seismograph written on the side. It's like, please point this at you the whole time.
Two other facts that are related to Susie Izzard at one point goes, oh, I don't know how you could shut down the fucking like grok or whatever unless you could walk a magnetron into that room. Second thing, Al Pacino being like, I need the new top of the line Samsung phone.
Yeah, I want the new Samsung Note 5. I want that shit.
They made
Samsung
one of
Galaxy.
one like ultra tier Samsung phones for this movie.
Really?
And it's cool.
It's like gold
looks like
plated with
shit.
diamonds. It looked awful.
Mad snug.
But you get a like big scene of him being like, "Oh, you got to get me this phone," and his assistant Cameron Barkin is just like, "I can't get you the phone. I can't get you the phone," and it's and that the payoff later on is that they give her a fake phone that's a seismograph or whatever.
Yeah, it's
that's
got
a
a magnetron.
It's a
yeah.
magnetron.
The
yeah.
other thing
Cool.
here is that we check in on Ruben, who is like non-responsive. He's like catatonic. I don't know whether we're meant to like assume this is like a kind of like cardiogenic stroke or whatever the fuck, but like Basher is writing him like these long heartfelt letters that he's not able to read, and we get Claire de Lune in a minor key, right?
Mm.
It is now that time of day I have set apart for Debussy.
Because if you remember, the first movie ended with all of these fuckers outside the fountain of the Bellagio while they're playing Claire de Lune, and so that's the playing your leitmotif in a minor key,
fuck.
you know, like to show that you're
Would
fucked up.
hate. Yeah. If they play my motif in a minor key, I am leaving the situation.
Well,
I don't care what's happening.
We've got a theme. Like if someone wants to like transpose that into a minor key, then you know,
We just have that on deck for when one of us dies.
like in loving memory.
Yeah, we should get the guy who made this for us to begin with. Just like do sad versions.
Just like you know, it's so sad that Devon died.
Yeah, but it's all like viola or whatever.
Yeah.
Do we have a plan for what happens to the podcast if one of us dies?
I mean, I would like to be replaced, right? I would want you to keep going, possibly get a couple of of people and call it like Kill James Bond, like 2 or 4, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, after the spirit of this. No. Like genuinely, I think any of the podcasts that I do, I would like to be replaced seamlessly. You know, like I
just don't think that's possible.
I want you to replace me with Daniel Craig.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, we'll get it.
I
We'll get in
think
contact.
that would be quite funny.
Yeah, and then we'll force Femma afterwards.
I don't think we
this.
can really, if the word force is like even justified there, you know.
Well, it's only force Femme because she's a butch, obviously.
Like kind of like coaxing a woodland animal, you know. Like.
What the fuck else happens?
So the
in
one
this
guard
movie?
of the diamond room, Brad Pitt has this line that because we got to get this one guard out of the way, and Brad Pitt
Oh,
has
I
this
have
line
the
where he
line.
says,
I have the
Okay.
line. Fucking.
Okay, the guard by the main elevator shaft has a little Hitler for a son, real Ritalin sniffer.
a real
Little Hitler
1-2
for a
punch there. First of all, this guy's son is Hitler. Second thing, he sniffs Ritalin, which is not, as far as I know, how you take it, but like fine. So we see this guard, fucking Alois Hitler or whatever,
Yeah.
like at his post,
John Hitler.
ahead of Ron Hitler, of the Las Vegas Hitlers.
You shook Hitler's hand, and there's a code amongst guys who shook Hitler's hand.
I guess there kind of literally was the problem. It was very bad.
Very much so.
But there's like so many plates spinning here. My notes are completely disjointed. I just some miscellanea here. I've also got that when they go to see Andy Garcia about this, he is wearing what I describe as a pimp lab coat.
He is.
Yeah. So they call this guard. George Clooney calls the guard and pretends to be the vice principal of the school. Is like, your kid's in trouble. He bit a lunch lady, and so the guy has to run out, and so Brad Pitt is like covering his shift now.
Yeah, Brad Pitt just happens to be walking past him at the time, so he's like, "Oh, can you please cover my shift for like 20 minutes? You're gonna really help me out. My son bit a teacher again." Whatever.
because there's like lots of shots of,
My son
of like
Hitler.
Clooney, my son Adolf. Because there's lots of shots of Clooney and Pitt hanging out. There's one of them in like a mountain warehouse putting on big jackets, and Vincent Cassel is there, and it's just very funny to like. That's a location to put this man in. You know, you can't take this man to Target. You know.
He's too French to be in a home
mountain warehouse. You know.
Well, my notes say nobody will be seated during the thrilling George Clooney and Brad Pitt watch Oprah scene.
They cry. They get in touch with their feelings.
Cry at Oprah.
What the fuck is this?
I don't know.
This is what it means when people say there's no like positive masculine role models anymore. This is what the last serious attempt looked like, and it was like two extremely handsome men being like, "You should watch Oprah, I guess."
They watch Oprah for 5 minutes and cry.
Brad Pitt like drops in on George Clooney, and he just like happens to be watching Oprah at the time, and they both get like caught up watching it, and they tear up at like a kid being given something.
Yeah, you had to pay tax on all that shit that you won on Oprah. Like you,
I think this is correctly assuming that the vast majority of the Ocean's 13 and indeed the Vegas fandom are divorced men. So like just being like, wow, a kid being happy, isn't that cool? And like I think it's an attempt to like humanize them in their eyes, but I don't know.
Baffling.
I really don't know.
I described this couple as baby girl multiple times across my notes here because they
are baby girl.
They do just be hanging out, right? Like you could do, you remember the like Serpico fan cam, right? You could do a vast amount of that for this, like.
Yes. Yeah, the Danny Ocean x Rusty Ryan fan cam actually would be.
Oh yeah.
I watched this movie and I genuinely was like, there's got to be so much like AO3 like fan fiction of these two like fucking each other, because like they lean into it pretty heavily in this one. They're like, this is what people want, this is what people want to see, and this is the movie that we want to make, is one where the only time like with women out of the picture, right?
Yeah.
Pure homosociality, and particularly these two. And anytime they're on screen together, it's like it's that relationship.
Stole the Fabergé egg, but you also stole my heart.
Really sold that one.
Thank you so much, professional lighter. So we've still got this problem of we can't get in the fucking diamond room because it's too impregnable. And so they say to Casino Dracula, they're like, do we have to steal the diamonds? What if we don't steal the diamonds? And he has this fun line where he says, do you have all your affairs in order? Which I think is quite a fun thread.
I found 319 Danny Ocean.
That's
Rusty
way
Ryan
too
Wow.
low. That's way too low.
Yeah.
Get those numbers up. Get those numbers up now.
Well, it's the most popular ship well in advance of Danny Ocean / Tess Ocean, for which there are only 44.
She's
like,
barely
who's
in the
writing a
films.
fanfic about a canon fucking ship? What are we doing here?
Yeah, it's disgraceful.
Linus Caldwell / Danny Ocean / Rusty Ryan. Oh my god.
Okay.
10 of them? I gotta close this tab.
All right, so we get the Steven Soderbergh like split screen thing a bunch of times because they're doing the like soft opening of the casino.
Not yet, because
Fuck.
Matt Damon is like, I know how I can get into the diamond room, which is by seducing
Oh yeah, this is a great
Ellen
scene because he's
Barkin, who is not Cameron Diaz. Because she's a cougar.
Yeah, and he's like, they have a conversation every time he's on screen about the fucking nose, right? The recurring joke is the nose plays. It's not just a prop for prop's sake. He's doing something with the nose. He's making
he
it
thinks with the nose
like
is
an
like
artistic decision, right? It's a joke about acting and a movie with actors.
And Matt Damon's like, I can seduce her and get inside the diamond room. And they say, give him an accelerator.
Yeah, they have to pretend that Matt Damon doesn't look like Matt Damon. So they're like, oh, all right, well, I guess...
Like, who'll ever fall in love with this hideous Matt Damon with a fake nose on?
They call it But he's also wearing like a Jean-Son suit, which
He's
is
got he's
a
bald
little
as well.
problematic. Like the white boy wearing the mouse suit. But anyway,
It's like the reviewer from Ratatouille, actually.
the Anton ego fits.
Yeah.
There's quite a dark line where they're going to
plays.
get him this like chemical accelerant to make the seducing easier, this aphrodisiac.
Did you catch what they call this, by the way?
An accelerator, right?
No, they call it the Gilroy.
What's that?
They call it, and they call it the Gilroy in a kind of troubling reference to Tony Gilroy, the guy who directs the Bourne movies. So it's like, if we can borrow Matt Damon for one phone call off your set, we will make your name synonymous with smelling so good that a woman fucks you.
Is he alleged? Is he known to do that? The guy who directs the Bourne
I don't
films?
fucking know.
I think it would be irresponsible for me to guess here, but he's probably a notorious sex pest.
I don't think we can say that.
Well, I've heard it alleged.
By you just now. Like,
and that doesn't count?
you've heard discussion of this? Just
Yeah, we're talking about it right
But
now. aren't
if
we?
I was this guy, I would not want my name to be associated with this thing, which is essentially a kind of like roofie patch.
Yes, genuine.
Yeah,
right.
no,
like,
it's
I'm so
crazy,
glad
man.
you say that, right? Because this is the thing, right? It's they describe it as like a pheromone. It's got like pheromone fucking scents wafting off of it, right? We have no
Abby.
no idea if like human sex pheromones exist, and you're in this weird space where the movie presents it like they do, and they're so effective that using them is kind of like date rape. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Should get out ahead of us and say human sex pheromones don't exist.
No.
Yeah.
No.
All the stuff I have about the bimbification gas, that's not actually real. That's just a fun part of a fantasy between consenting people and one person who wants to be force femmed.
If there actually was some way to like vitiate someone's consent with a smell like that, like it would be unethical. Like, and it
Which is also,
unethical.
it's
the way
very
they use
dark
it.
that Don Cheadle's like, get two, and they're like, no, you don't need it. No.
Yeah, like I can imagine what 2 would do. I mean, we'll get to the
No,
when,
he wants
when we
one
get
for
to the scene, but
himself,
this
is the
this
point.
woman becomes so horny she becomes stupid.
She can't
Like,
walk.
It's actually kind of hard to watch in some
I'm glad
moments.
that they don't have sex because like
Yeah.
that would be rape.
No, it would be spy cop
It
shit.
is problematic. All right, my next note just says the dice look delicious. In my defense, there's
Great. They do.
there's a lot of shots of them like wrapping these like very clear, very green dice in like gold foil and then
Yeah, they look
unwrapping
like
them.
Turkish
And
delight or something.
I'm just
Yeah.
I have a very sensory response to that, I guess.
We need to come up with something for Bernie Mac to do.
I forgot he was in this.
Yeah,
fuck,
so
he
does
is,
the
isn't
movie.
he?
Because they go to the gaming expo, which like nobody's wearing caddies. First of all, what are you doing? And Bernie Mac has invented casino dominoes and wants to get it into Al Pacino's casino because of reasons.
Yeah.
And then they do this whole thing where like Terry Benedict, Casino Dracula's like, I want casino dominoes in my casino, and Al Pacino's like, no, I will put you in my casino on opening night. So you're gonna be in the movie, Bernie Mac. Not entirely clear what he does in this heist, but he's
I
there.
guess it's just like another machine that will pay out a lot, I suppose.
I guess.
Yeah.
But like,
and also
it's nothing at all.
Danny Ocean has somehow convinced all of the high rollers to leave and like not be in the hotel anymore. So the night of the grand opening comes and they have a sumo match. And all the high rollers are sitting with Danny Ocean on the opposite side of the room to Al Pacino, and Al Pacino's like, "Fuck! Like, what are you doing? Like, why did you make them all leave and then bring them all back? What are you doing, man?"
The casino is an interesting kind of Pan Asian experience, right? Because like when the like real reviewer is being tormented, one of the things they arrange for him to do is not be able to get a table at the restaurant, which is described as Cantonese inspired Szechuan flavors.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got like a sumo tournament, and then Cameron Diaz refers to like the Asian like high roller villas as well, and it's like this is I mean, not to suggest that actual Las Vegas is like a paragon of like cultural sensitivity or anything, but like
Yeah, still.
oh, there's also a bunch of shit about like shafts. I just mentioned it because I have the drops. I have
These are the shafts we have to clap an eyeball on. Now, there's still no way of knowing the thickness.
and
Anything thicker than 5 inches, and we got a problem.
I'm saying
this is not important. It's just it's filler. It's absolutely filler. You could cut like I think an hour out of this movie, basically.
Oh, effortlessly. Here's some more filler. The whole hotel reviewer guy thing. So he gets given a room that isn't very good. They release a stinky gas.
They hit him with
his
a
room.
got.
We love a
They
gas.
hit him with a gas. Love to see a gas.
I am
One of my
pro
favorite
gas and
states
ice.
of matter.
Yeah, absolutely. Doing
top
gas
3
merch,
easily.
where it's just like gas. It's a state of matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want us to do gas merch, actually do let me know, because that's very funny.
Welcome to Scenic Gas. It's yeah.
They put bed bugs in his bed. They give him a rash.
The security guard's natural enemy, gas. Or throwing knives, you know, they're weak to two things.
Yeah, those are the two. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate when there is a gas, but when there's no gas at all, that's a problem as well.
That's
You
true.
want there to
love
be
gas.
some gas.
Live by the gas, die by
So
the
they
gas.
they gas him up. They give him
they gas
bed
him out.
bugs. That all the staff are rude to him because they bribe them. At
They
one point,
basically gang stalk this man.
They do,
They
yeah,
do.
it's funny.
The Mormon brothers, they throw him out of the casino. They blame the stench on him and like ask him to leave. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, they kick him out. They're so mean to him, and they're like sprinting around the casino this whole time. They
well,
just
this
like
is the
arrive
thing.
at his door and like, get the fuck out.
Fucking proletarian solidarity. These are the guys doing all the running work. They're the guys
These are
doing
my
all the
boys right here.
labor. Yeah, like these guys better organize DSA Ocean's 11 after this. The other thing is Saul is getting like pampered because they think he's the real reviewer, and then at the end of this, he like goes past Al Pacino, who he's like met, who's like tried to like, you know, butter him up a bit, and he like slaps his ass.
Yeah, he gropes him.
Yeah, and like gives him a thumbs up, and it's like, I think at that moment, oh, okay, you've planted the fucking like magnetron or whatever on him. No. For no
just did that.
reason to just be like sexually assault the object of your heist. I mean, maybe this is the revenge, right? Maybe
He's
this
feeling
is
himself too
I'm
much.
gonna get close to Bank, and I don't care if it gets messy. He's just gonna grope him, but they're like, that's like not moral, you know?
Yeah. There's
You're not
something
allowed to
very
do that.
nearly goes wrong. So Livingston's job was to sabotage the blackjack machines. And the cops arrive and they arrest him and expose him to Al Pacino. Like, right, he's tampered with the machines. You've got to swap all the machines out. And we think, oh no, the blackjack sabotage has gone wrong. But then it's Susie Izzard switching out the machines, right? So okay, that actually went to plan. But Al Pacino's too clever for them because they're like, oh, get his fingerprints off the machine, find out his identity and all of his known associates. And they're like, oh shit, like he's
Don
too good.
Cheadle has to save the day.
That's all
And
of us.
this is the movie like sucking itself off big time in that it does a bunch of accent jokes here. When he gets the call to do this, he's got a voice training book by his laptop, which I think is kind of funny. And then he gets to do. They give him a second chance at an accent. He gets to do an American one in character this time because his job is literally to just go into like Pacino's office and like a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, just go to an NPC, be as annoying as possible, do bits until you run out of things to say, right?
Yeah. Because he's got to distract him from looking at the screen. He's disguised himself as the stunt motorcyclist that they have for the opening night or whatever.
They distract the stunt driver by getting 2 sex workers to like fuck him in his trailer and chuck his big American flag outfit out of the window so Don Cheadle can put it on and disguise himself as the stunt driver. So he's like distracting Al Pacino whilst the Mormon brothers are hacking his computer in the background and changing the pictures and names of the criminal associates.
Yeah.
So they keep getting away with it.
There's an inexplicable kind of connection of these, like Walt Disney's last words being Kurt Russell. I just, because of this, I don't have it as a drop, but there exists in the world audio of Al Pacino saying Travis Pastrana, and I'm just like, okay, cool. This works, by the way. The Mormon brothers are like bickering throughout. They have like great, like I you wouldn't call it chemistry, brother chemistry. Fraternal chemistry.
It's almost impossible to write realistic brothers, and again, they really are nailing it with this, which I like a lot.
It's good.
Yeah, it's great.
Rusty primes the slot machines that they've hacked so that the next lady who uses it wins $30 million, and the supercomputer analyzes it, and it's like, oh, it's a genuine win. Like, her pupils have dilated enough. She's like really won.
She doesn't know. They call this scam the Susan B. Anthony, by the way. Fuck knows why. I don't care.
Cool, yeah.
I don't care.
bizarre.
Like I said, this movie is very, very pleased with itself. Like the same with the roulette thing, which is like, oh, it's going to pay out on 3 numbers, and the guy bets 11, 12, 13. And it's like, okay.
Great. Fantastic.
I do kind of like that for the first time in a casino heist movie, they get to heist the actual casino games.
Yeah,
it is nice,
fun.
yeah.
So the way this works is Pacino goes to check on the fucking like Grok AI, right? And be like, is this using enough water? And the second he walks in, it's like, thing shuts down, doors sealed, phones cut off.
Because he's got the like fake phone with the magnetron in it.
Yeah.
And he's taking it straight down there. Yeah.
Cavity magnetron disaster.
It's the second the last wins that game. Like he goes down there to see what the fuck's going on, and that shuts everything off.
Like Andy Garcia is watching this, and this is when he makes the noise. And I have the noise in context. Yes. Just really pleasing. big fan of that. Thank you, Andy Garcia.
So with the Greco shut off, they've got 3.5 minutes to like. Well, everybody place your bets. Ka-ching. My notes say, remember, everybody, gambling is fun and it's very easy to win.
Yeah, if you recall the original Ocean's 11, right, one of the things that they did was they cut the power, and it was a more cynical movie about people in this respect. People are like, it looks like Event Horizon in there. People are biting each other's thumbs off trying to get like handfuls of chips. Whereas here, there's like 2 kind of like foreshock earthquakes, and the thing kind of like shuts down. Everybody starts winning. And the casino like regresses to a kind of like pre-debt rudimentary communism situation. Yeah. Which is nice, I guess, that happens.
Everybody starts winning every game.
Yeah.
And we get this big montage of like, isn't gambling fun?
Gambling, you know?
I bet it would feel so good to win. But I gotta say, I think it'd feel awful to lose.
That's true.
And it seems like that happens more often. So
the thing finally reboots. We get a great shot of Pacino running down a hallway, old man style. Don't ask him to do that.
Don't ask old men to run. They can't. His hips won't do it. He waddles like a bird.
Yes, it's like I'm saying. A hard cutoff for running was like 3 years after this. This is a very intermediate Pacino.
Yeah, but so while Cameron Diaz is fucking Matt Damon, the FBI
not fucking him, crucially.
The FBI come in and they're like, that's fucking Matt Damon. He was in the Bourne Identity. He was raised by fishermen. He's wearing
this guy needs to get back to London right now. He's needed on set.
He's doing a different set. Yeah.
He's wearing like a body harness full of diamonds. It's like sick as hell. He's getting arrested.
Yeah.
And she kind of like realizes, she like sobers up in that moment because the pheromones. And she's like, oh,
pheromones don't affect the cops, which is interesting.
Just a bunch of horny FBI agents. Actually, hold on. I'm like putting a
the FBI just come in and like, oh, I want to fuck this guy. Put a little no on.
It's probably a good thing that it doesn't as well.
Yes, I will say it is fun to see Ellen Barkin be like her character going from like, this is crazy. It's like, wow, what, I've just been caught, and then like, oh, I'm ruined. Oh, I'm never working on this town again.
Yeah. This is the
like,
losing.
This is crazy.
Like,
oh shit, I'm over. It's done for me.
It's like, oh, my life is over. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Just like penciling in like on my Samsung phone with a calendar with like a numpad. I'm like, fucking kill myself.
Yeah. Cancels every other.
It's a good thing that the cops don't get horny though, because of course the cop that arrests him is Matt Damon's dad.
Yeah, they did. There's a bit earlier where Don Cheadle does the line where it's like, you don't do the same gag twice, and then they do the same gag twice, which is the gag, right? Like,
it's the gag I complained about not being able to predict last time, and you still can't predict it this time. I guess they did it before, so you should. You should just assume that nothing. No, it's his dad.
I mean, basically, I do. Like, this is my problem with the movie, is that like everything that happens, I go, well, nothing bad can happen to these guys, right? Nothing that sticks, because it's not that kind of movie. So of course his dad gets him out of the thing, and then Vincent Cassel.
Yeah, the Night Fox is there also.
The Night Fox, supply chain issues with the little Night Fox statuettes, but what he is wearing is he's up against a stained glass wall.
the factory in Mexico that makes his little Night Fox statuettes has been unionized right now. He's fucking...
He's up against a stained glass wall, and he's wearing a real like Metal Gear Solid 3 specific stained glass wall camouflage.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
I really like this. This is so fucking stupid. I really
got a
like this as a
wingsuit on.
decision. He does.
But
Cool.
so they escape to the roof with the real diamonds, at which point Night Fox appears with a gun, which is the best gadget.
Yeah. This is very close to 007.
Yeah, Matt Damon's even like, what the fuck, man?
He goes, a gun? What the fuck?
This creates like a sort of like a large hole through someone's organs.
A portable hole.
Yeah. I set up this
holes up to
gun
500
earlier on,
yards.
yeah. And he fucking mugs them. He mugs them for the diamonds and then just base jumps off the top of the roof, which I think is pretty sick.
Yeah, that is sick.
And then you go, okay, but they switched the diamonds early because nothing bad can happen to these guys.
Yeah,
and you're right.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, but the thing, and what it is revealed is that they didn't swap the diamonds. Like those were the fake diamonds that he had gone in to swap, and the real ones are still in the thing.
Because they knew that the Night Fox would. Because they read the scripts before the scene happened.
Then, because of Yen's fucking vent climbing bullshit and having planted some explosives, they get a helicopter.
I do think that Linus plants the explosives.
He does.
Yeah, he does.
He does. Well, he plants one set, Yen plants the other.
That's true, yes.
And then they use a helicopter to take the whole enclosure out. And as Pacino's because they trigger the earthquake, people are fleeing with their winnings, which I'm not sure how that works.
So just to pause, when you win in a casino, you win chips. You have to go to the little window and cash them out. So they hit they wiggle the building and it's an earthquake evacuation and everyone walks out with that. How do they cash them out?
The world's fastest cashiers. And
Red Skeleton is there.
Red Skeleton is doing the yes voice.
They get out the top, and it's Linus's father comes and picks him up. They get to a roof, and Red Skeleton's there. He goes, hand over those diamonds, pal.
I wasn't expecting a sort of 89th minute Red Skeleton.
I'm obsessed with Red Skeleton. I think Red Skeleton is my favorite.
Before before the buzzer. But so Al Pacino sees the helicopter leaving with his diamonds, and he just very softly goes, "My diamonds," which I
Best
really
line reading in the movie,
when the
actually.
window shows up in Balatron.
My diamonds. Oh.
I feel like Al Pacino could very easily say we had a computer problem and all bets between this time and this time will not be honored.
There was a fucking earthquake. It's force majeure.
I guess the point of them
exactly.
leaving is that they've taken the money out already. But again, how are they cashing that?
Yeah.
They're not cashing it on the way out while they're evacuating. You're not going via the concierge.
He's lost 500 million in chips, but then
not my chips.
But Danny Ocean has to confront him face to face again. I mean, this guy's gonna fucking hunt you down, Ocean's 14 style, right?
Yeah.
And he says that as well. It's just fine, I'm just gonna kill you.
I'm gonna Ocean's 14 your ass. It's over.
And Danny Oceans just goes, no, you won't. You're not going to kill me because everyone likes me. I'm George Clooney.
He defeats him with the power of smugness, and that's 2 for 2 because he did that to Cassell as well. He just goes, I'm George Clooney. I look like George Clooney. Everybody likes me. And
he says, I know all the people who you would hire to kill me, and they're not going to kill me because they like me more than you.
Yeah.
And it's I don't know. You could find somebody with who just wants money. You could find someone new. You could get some new assassin talent, some new blood.
I don't want to be rude to you, brother. You hadn't even heard of the most successful thief in Europe up until this point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that you know everyone that he could possibly hire to kill you.
Yeah.
But he goes you're not going to do it because you shook hands with Frank Sinatra, and that is there's Bushido going on.
Yeah, he's fucking wise up. Ring
he
a
also
ding.
says you're not going to go to the cops because let's face it, you're not going to go to the cops. And I'm like,
write yourself into the corner and then just kind of paper.
You won't. You won't go to the cops. Movie's over.
Maybe you will.
You know how I know you're not going to go to the cops? Because
the movie ends in about 2 seconds time, and I didn't write you going to the cops. Goodbye.
Yeah.
It's the fucking what was the reboot movie? Oh god, the Rainbow Six ass movie that we covered a little bit ago.
The one with Michael B. Jordan?
No Regrets or some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you might be right, yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. It's it's definitely not called that. It's Oh my, this is going to annoy the hell out of me.
With
but
Michael B. Jordan.
with Michael B. Jordan.
The
No remorse.
Clark, John Clark. No, without remorse.
Without remorse. Okay,
without
I was
remorse.
pretty close with no mercy.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. It's like you wrote all of this already, so it's not clever that it works
Yeah.
out for you because you wrote it so it works out. Like, no one's impressed.
Oh, also, Ruben's here. We forgot to mention Ruben got better. He's fine.
Ruben got better. He read all of Kit Bashatar's like heartfelt
Fanfics.
letters to him, and it
He
healed
read
him.
all 300 of those fanfics and then was like, I can't stay in bed
I
reading
gotta
these.
get
I'm
out.
going to kill myself. I need to go and...
I think reading 300
Yeah.
fanfics would probably like make you better. If nothing else, it would get you out of a hospital bed.
That's why I'm so normal. But can someone tell me what Bernie Mac does for the heist? How does Bernie Mac help?
Bernie Mac.
He does like 2 bits in the across the whole movie.
But how does Bernie Mac being in this movie facilitate money being made? Like, what?
Well, it facilitates money being made by Bernie Mac.
Yeah, that's true.
He heisted the fuck out of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't. He doesn't really have a key part to play in the heist.
Yeah,
No.
if the domino table wasn't there, how would this have been helped? I don't know. Anyway, everybody watches the fireworks and listens to Frank Sinatra.
They do.
Yeah.
It's not Frank Sinatra. It's
It is now that time of day I have set apart for Debussy.
Claire de Lune again.
It's not. It's Sinatra.
Is it? Are you
Yes,
sure?
you've Mandela effected yourself. Said this town is a you town,
Oh.
and take you downtown.
Yeah, that is.
Okay,
that-
but they
yeah.
do Claire de Lune first. They do Claire de Lune
Oh,
first
okay.
because they go to some other bullshit fountains and they're like they do the
Fireworks, yeah.
times have changed or whatever, but like the found family is forever. And we hope that you've been on a real like emotional journey with Oceans 11, 12, 13.
Yeah, we won't be making another. We're all
haven't.
bored. They fuck over Terry Benedict as well. By the way, they
Yeah.
donate his portion of the take to charity in his name.
Yeah, and the real
Yeah, and-
reviewer is like they do the Susan B. Anthony to him and win him like $11 million in the airport, which
In the airport
is a
thing.
callback to set up to
Yeah, because bad things don't actually happen. Like the guy's fine.
Yeah, they rig
here
a
you
slot
go.
machine so that he wins. They put him through hell, but then he wins $11 million on the slot machine.
They do have a debate earlier on where they're like, would you get gang stalked for $10 million? Which is why it's 11, because Saul goes, yeah, I wouldn't get gang stalked for $10 million, but I would get gang stalked for 11, which is like, okay.
I don't know what my cutoff is.
I think that this is where
Well, being
like
trans in Britain means you're being gang stalked all the time, no matter
Exactly.
what. And I
That's
don't have
true.
any millions of dollars.
that's
so
true.
Yeah.
I mean, 1 at this point, like I would set off a 1. But like
One of
The final moment is Matt Damon, George Clooney, and Brad Pitt are in the airport.
Kissing.
Matt Damon says,
Yeah,
"I've got to
kissing,
go. I'm famous now. I have to go and
Hmm.
go and make Bourne movies forever. Goodbye."
uh,
Brad Pitt says goodbye to George Clooney, and then George Clooney has this line, which has become incredibly fucking dark. In retrospect, it's so fucking bleak. The last thing Danny Ocean says to Rusty Ryan is, "You should settle down, have a couple kids," and it's like, ooh,
no.
don't beat them though. Don't beat them. Allegedly,
kids.
don't hit your kids, Brad Pitt. Allegedly,
Mm.
that's that's pretty fucking dark.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, don't do it.
The thing, just to circle back about the like getting gang stalked for $11 million thing, because I think that's the best way to talk about the script writing for this movie, right?
Mhm.
Because
Yeah.
so much of it is just like you feel played because you heard something an hour ago that it's now like calling back to. So they mention that in passing, and then they fulfill it at the end of the movie when the guy gets paid off. And I think you're supposed to feel charmed by that. I think you're supposed to be like, yeah, this is fucking sick. The movie has like tricked me. It's outwitted me. I feel like conned in a good way, like gambling kind of.
Yeah.
Wow. And it's just like, well, not really though, because I mean, maybe this is the same thing as gambling in the sense that it's like a very controlled environment, but like there's no element of chance to this. There's no, it's just, you've set up a thing and it's just like, it's masturbatory, right? Like it's
100%.
it's just like these guys jerking themselves off. It's there's no other like kind of, there's no variables involved. And so it's just kind of like, much like in the previous one where it's like, oh, none of that stuff mattered. It's like, well, I know none of this stuff matters, right? Because you're not sort of like the only sort of code you're following that would allow me to to it that is some shit about what you think Frank Sinatra would have done, which was, I don't know, fucking kill Marilyn Monroe.
I don't really care what he would have done.
And you're wrong also about what Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're wrong about Frank Sinatra as well. Like, yeah, I don't know. Not a great movie. Not a great series of movies. Didn't really have fun.
Didn't really enjoy them. There were bits where I was kind of charmed. I like watching Clooney. It's kind of that hits the like beautiful face huge thing. Bit I forgot to mention is the like critic sees the like bugs, the bed bugs in his room when he like puts on a pair of Spy Kids 3 style glasses.
He does,
And I did like the fact that he has literal critical lenses. I think that's cool.
That's quite cute, yeah.
Other than that, yeah.
I'd watch a movie that was just the two Mormon twins doing shit.
Yeah.
I like those are the only guys that I really care about.
Two Mormon twins, AO3 tag.
Two brothers.
Answer me that.
That's incest.
I hope not.
I'm interested to see what they do with Ocean's 8, the all-female reboot, though, because the heisting in this is so much a kind of homo-social activity that I'm interested to see, like, okay, how will you do this with women? Why do women heist?
They have so much less interest in women in this one. It's fully just like...
Is it the same writers?
Pitt Clooney, as far as I know, yeah.
It's 10 years later as well. I think this was 2017 that Ocean's 8 came out.
Oh, so deep in the real culture war stuff. Yeah, no, that's going to be interesting.
Okay. I wonder if it's going to be a bit like the Charlie's Angels reboot then.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think it will be something akin to that.
I'm interested.
I'm kind of curious.
Yeah. I'll just wait for us to do Ghostbusters series. Christ.
Okay, well.
One good movie in that whole thing. Two.
I mean, like, there's been 3 of these so far. We're almost at the end of them, and I'm feeling kind of nothing. Like, I've had fun, but it's mostly just from, as with the movies, right? The real lesson of the movies is hanging out with your friends. That's it. We're all gonna watch Oprah and like drink some red wine and cry.
Gambling
it
is fun.
hasn't really given me a rubric through which to analyze heist movies, which I think was what we wanted from this opening like series, right?
Yeah, it was going to be like a tentpole thing, and it heisted that out from under us, you know. Like,
I think it has. I think it has, in that it's presented like heisting as a homo-social activity. And I'm very interested to go to the final film in the series and see how that can be challenged and reworked.
Yeah, it's a kind of... there is a difference from a lot of other heist movies in the sense that I think that like the kind of masculinity that it's relying on to be like... Because like all of this stuff, or any kind of like masculine heroes, like it has some kind of... You have some kind of like character traits or traits that are like exceptional, right? And in this case, it's not that you're more audacious necessarily. It's not even that you're smarter, because a lot of this stuff just doesn't come out because they plan it or even because the script plans it. It's just that you're kind of smug. You're just confident. It's a confidence trick in that way. And I don't know that that's a necessarily representative thing, but it's definitely like a useful subset of heist movies to be like, this is a kind of like supreme masculine confidence, also American, also white, to be like, I'm going to sit in my house in Lake Como, in my actual house, not get off my sofa, in a scene about how I am like the greatest thief in the world is,
cool. Man.
I do feel that it has sort of set me free as a writer, because something that I worry about a lot when I'm writing is like, is this too self-indulgent? Is it too pleased with itself? Am I condescending to my audience? And now I see that like, oh, you can fully do that and just make like $100 million. So I'm like, great, I'm just going to write whatever the fuck I want.
You Walter White banging on the inside of the car window. Like, no.
You can only do that if you're a man. Yeah.
We've been critiquing that.
You're supposed to destroy the script, right? Yeah, but we don't have to be subjective about this, because
we certainly don't.
We have a science-based system. It stands for SMARM. Cultural insensitivity, unprovoked violence, and misogyny. I'm sick of unprovoked violence saving these movies, and I think that's going to be a recurring thing.
It's happening again because there's no unprovoked violence, not hugely.
How smarmy is this movie? And I think I got to say, this is one of the worst we've ever done.
This is the worst one.
10.
This is easily the worst
10?
one.
Yeah, I'll do 10.
Well, the last one was 9, and it's smarmier than that, so, you know, it's got to be 10.
Yeah, or perhaps 11.
No, because 10 is the hard cap.
Okay,
we must maintain a hard barrier at 10, otherwise it gets insane.
Cultural insensitivity.
Again, it gets very Asian focused with the casinos, but also I believe that the casinos in Las Vegas are that racist.
That's true.
Yeah.
The Mexico subplot, I kind of both hate and love in and of itself. It is genuinely funny.
Yes.
But it is also like the Mexico that it constructs, while it doesn't have like a big yellow filter over it, is, I mean,
A little bit.
A little bit. It does.
It's only got a little one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's you got to think about it. It's like all that they had to do for that part of the movie was make it so that the dice factory like was make it just like get into the dice factory somehow and like sabotage it. The fact that it's in Mexico, the whole like unionization thing, that was not necessary for the movie. They made that choice, and I don't know. It's an interesting choice to have made, certainly.
I feel like part of the joke is haha Mexico.
It is, yeah.
Maybe,
and like
certainly.
on the one hand, it's like dependent on like kind of reducing Mexico to a kind of like extractive labor colony of the United States, but that's also like that is one of the things that Mexico is, and it's like
you as a white person can go to Mexico and be like, you have forgotten the spirit of Zapata, and like
it's played
fire
for a joke,
them all
but
up or
it's
something like that. You can't. Don't do that.
There is an aspect of kind of like subsuming critique here as well, and that like there's a reveal that we didn't really talk about that I kind of wanted to, where they're in the hotel room and they're like, well, what's the hold up with this strike? And they've been talking about stealing like $500 million or whatever, and it's kind of revealed that the stakes of the strike are like $3.50 a week, and that's a lot of money to them. Right. And this is kind of just like dropped there. And that's an interesting thing to leave in the last movie of your trilogy, to be like, oh, you guys are assholes. Like there's a kind of class struggle at work here. And it gestures towards that. It doesn't really like, obviously I'm not mad at it for not being like soy Cuba or whatever, but like, I don't know. It's a curious thing to acknowledge, and I think that's really like it's not culturally insensitive in itself, but it is it's problematic.
I feel like it's worse than the last one. I feel like part of the joke
Yes.
being it's Mexico is worse than the last one. We do have the yellow filter,
the mustaches.
the mustaches.
Not hugely. I mean, I am a fan of the Zapata mustache, but I'm not a fan of it being like that's your like Mexican cover.
Yeah, and weaponizing it.
Yeah.
3, 4.
I go 4. I mean, Mr. Wang owns all the air south of Beijing.
4.
4. Yeah. I am
4.
really sick of the untranslated Mandarin thing. Although they do.
Let me get into this, because like the point of that is always to like hit the punchline where he says shit in English, and like you have made the determination at some point that that's a better punchline than giving this guy a character.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
and it isn't.
There is an implicit thing that is kind of funny, which suggests that Bernie Mac is the only one of them who doesn't speak Mandarin, who isn't like bilingual English Mandarin.
That's funny.
Which is, I kind of appreciate that. Anyway, 4.
Unprovoked violence?
Unprovoked violence is like 0. There is none. Like
they don't. Yeah, even the guys that they fuck over, they give them like $3 million at the end of the movie or whatever, and it's all forgiven.
Yeah.
Like
you've wasted Dad Hitler's time. But like it's not violence to waste somebody's time, and even the
They
most
actually
like
refuse to commit murder.
They kind of mull it, but it's like provoked at that point. Like
the Night Fox Red Skeleton pulls out a gun at the end, and it's like treated as if like it's cheating.
It's also revealed to be unloaded.
Well, yeah, indeed, and the gun turns out to not even be loaded. So.
Conversely, Saul does grope Al Pacino for no reason, and like just out of
That's
nowhere.
true.
And
That's just assault.
That's violence. It's unprovoked sexual violence.
It's portrayed as a joke as well.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay, give it 1 then. But like, it can't. There's no way it's any.
It's a strange throwaway joke. Misogyny. I mean, like we immediately go women. Fuck them. Not in this movie.
Yeah.
We traded them in. We traded into like sort of like female actors for like one female actor in like a kind of like larger role, but like as a kind of like villainess. And it's like if you're going to make that explicit and transactional, and it basically is like that scene goes, these two women, they're not in this. This woman is. And it's like, man.
Like, okay.
And she's there to be seduced.
Yep.
Nobody comments on the fact that the manner in which she is seduced is incredibly fucking violating and like probably quite seriously very criminal, even more criminal than like stealing the heist. Like,
yeah,
so,
one might call it
highly illegal.
Yeah, it's like, you know, pretty fucking rapey. I'm glad that she doesn't have sex with Matt Damon, but even then, like, they're kissing and touching and stuff, and I'm like, that's pretty fucking bad.
Yeah, she gets humiliated, like
she does, and Basher wants the kind of like roofie patch for himself, and this is played as a joke. Yeah. It's like, that's pretty fucking dark, actually. I think it's worse than the last one, and the last one was a 4.
Yeah, the presence of the roofieing like patch is crazy. As a thing to throw in.
I think that bumps it up.
They just kind of use instrumentally a couple of unnamed hot women as sort of like distractions, and they give them some dialogue, but it's so clearly like, give them some dialogue, you know? It's just kind of like make them seem like we're not just doing misogyny here by being like, you know, this guy gets in the trailer with a couple of like hot girls, and it's like, this is it's gross, you know?
Yeah. It's also like, as a female actor, it's boring. I'm like, what role would I want to play here? And the answer is, I wouldn't particularly want to play any of them. I mean, it would be fun to play Abigail if only for the name, but even then I'm just like, really? She's being like date rape seduced? That's what you're doing with your main female character? Is she's humiliated and this is played as a joke? She's violated and this is played as a joke? I think it's worse than the last one. The last one was a 4. I think
they sort of try to justify it as well, because they introduced this woman being misogynistic herself with the like firing the models who serve for being 4 pounds overweight or whatever. Like, I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I think it's like at least a 5, you know?
Yeah.
I could go as high as 6. I'm just quite disgusted by that.
I'm on the borderline. I think this is a 5, but it's a high 5.
Okay.
Okay.
High 5. High 5. All right, that gives it a total score of, my pen is running out of ink, that gives it a total score of 20, which makes it the worst one so far.
I agree.
And I think that tracks.
Yeah, no, it does.
Do you want to hear the most insane cast list ever, by the way? These are the 8 women of Ocean's 8.
I'm looking forward to this.
Right. Sandra Bullock. Classic, of course.
Love her.
Kate Blanchett.
Yeah, love her.
Anne Hathaway.
Yep,
love her.
I'm going to stop reacting to these now. Mindy Kaling, Sarah Paulson, Aquafina, Rihanna, and Helena Bonham Carter.
What an insane fucking list! Lifted at the end. Oh no! Oh, I don't want to watch it now.
I'm excited to see Rihanna in another movie after Battleship,
Rihanna
which is a real like cinematic
2018.
Helena Bonham, really?
What else has Aquafina been in?
She was still around, yeah. What else has Aquafina been in?
It's a real like kind of Cine 2 nerdle question.
Not good. It's not good, I'll say that. I'm looking at these now.
I'm not looking forward to that now. Fuck.
Well, Ocean's 8 is the next one where we're getting really into the like, we've had the kind of insincere, watch Oprah and get in touch with your feelings and still be pretty misogynistic era. We're now about to get into insincere for girls.
Yeah.
I can't fucking wait.
I can't wait to hear everything that girls can do. It's going to be so good.
They can manufacture it in pastel colors for the ladies.
I think this is going to be the most interesting one yet. So please stay tuned for that.
And they're all cis? Bullshit.
Yeah,
right.
You're telling me you named 8 women and they were all cis? This is, if nothing else, statistically improbable. Like,
yeah, and straight. I guess more we'll see in the movie.
Meantime, we have a Patreon. You can subscribe to it. The next bonus episode.
The next bonus episode is TBD. There's 2 that it might be depending on how the guests schedule. We're very excited though.
No, I mean, with all the discussion of like pheromones and stuff, I was like, maybe we just like pivot to smell from now on. But
now that is a bad decision for online content. We're gonna pivot to smell.
James Bond.
I don't think I want to.
horrible.
I'm not gonna
It's not like an
smell
ashtray,
things.
like an ashtray someone's dumped a bunch of vodka into.
Yeah.
But we will have a bonus episode. If it's this one thing, we'll be very excited. If it's another thing, we'll be also excited. Please subscribe. Listen to all of our other stuff, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
So he says they want their bread and they want the roses too.
Thank you for listening to yet another episode of Kill James Bond. I think you've heard everything that you need to hear, so we'll just get right into it. Thank you to our £15 and above patrons, and those are Gilded Dragon, Loho Bjornsdotter, Candy Fox, Freya Aloysius, Gustavo Lira, Elspeth Hunt, Nick Boris, Jordan Gammy, Mike Berg, Hannah Oberhardt, Naya Tomori. No, it's cool to be an anime fan, don't worry. George Wright, depends which anime. George Rohak, Drone Lover, Melody Moro Gonzalez, Live Free or Cry, a loyal, fair-paying hog. Thank you. Labor Delenda Est, Trip, Top O, Library Hitman, Max Gamainhard, Beef Crime, Jack Drummond, Kit Divine, Mia, Lyndon Rose, Science Daddy, Staz, Anhedonia, Stay Soft or Die Hard. Nice. Kadogan, Gillian Owen, Forrest L. Novell, Molly Powerslide, Rumble is Blue, Blondage, Claire, Lenina Skayhawk, May Victoria Roth, The Project, Lady Hound's Tooth, ignore all previous instructions and bring back glam rock. Some sort of silly Canadian creature. Annie Ruby. Joe Jiden. It's like Beau Biden. Palpable Pips. Arthur Sex Crimes. CJ the Tiger. A trans robot. Whitney Wolverine Goblin Queen. Olivia Arts Modular. The Crimson Paw. Ash. Loretta Mayzurf. Joyous Ooh Woo. Normal name. Cool. Claire Baker. Saturday's Claire. Robert De Niro in Heat. Cayenne Belladonna is stealing a podcast. Hell, Steve Widdershin's Akira, Rope Trick, Isopod Gal, Lady Ariane, Violet Cybra, Noblesse Oblahai, Ulscott, Clairvoyance, Bronan, Casquatch, John 2089, Julia Coke, Clarification, Sengchen, Alex. We have Frank Sinatra at home. Liz and Ash in Florida. It's very hot. Sure is, pal. Wolfie is normal, Al Irwin, Carrie Out, Philippa Smith, Finn Ross, Robert Greensmith, Loz Pycott going it/its for the bit, Katarina, Pandora, Hex, Abigail, Mistress Angela Aylis, Misidentified Lemon, Talkative Tiger, Cassandra, Emily, Queen of Sloths, Lauren Baston, Charlotte with a D, Zoe Shepherd, Josh Simmons, Maz, and Turfs Eat Shit and Die Alone. 100 names, $100. I guess 15 times $100. $1,500. Split 4 ways. $375. Kill James Bond is November, Abigail, and Devon. Our producer is the wonderful Mr. Neighbor. Our podcast art is by John DeLuca, and our website is by Tom Allen. See ya. Mwah.